ey. Jetzt bei mir.
I'm only joking. I'm joking. He just said to me, you could have played that on for an hour, and I was like, ooh.
You running around back to Toffee's garage. Like yeah, we stitch you up. Hey, Lorenzo with this scarf.
Yeah.
You ever see, like, wherever he goes out, he's always got a scarf on. Wherever he goes. Doesn't matter, like, he's 35
That's
degrees.
good on camera, though.
Ja, weil ich schon heute ein paar Mal die Termine erwähnt habe, auch einen kurzen Sidestep zur Rallycross-Weltmeisterschaft Wagen, habe ich schon gesagt, dass am kommenden Wochenende.
Yeah, am I commentating over that? Q1 to Q3?
Yes.
Yeah, fine.
Actually,
It's just interesting because you introduced me a bit later.
yeah. So I can maybe do something. Well, you've already heard his voice. Next to me is Mr. Tom Brex. Yeah, I can do that. That's absolutely fine. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Tomorrow's freezing.
I know it is. Oh man, it is horrible weather this one. So. And you know the good thing about this is going to be a Pantera at the Supercar on the front row.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that. Right.
Whoa! Shit. Hang on, it's on here, mate.
Commercials now.
Ronnie must have taken a big hit into the barrier looking at the damage.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus, I
No.
saw that.
I saw some kid there in the garage, he was like spraying it on some like polish or something like that. But he was like, you know, if you have a proper dig in the polish, he was just like expecting it to go and it just wasn't. He was like, oh, no.
Need a new fucking bodywork for that.
Yeah.
No fixing that.
Child labour, right?
Oh, yeah. Blah, 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 blah.
Ist auch schon gar nicht mehr allzu viel zu diesem Thema, weil das kann man in alle 2 Wochen sich ändern. Fakt ist, es wird für 2019.
Yeah. What we need something.
Blanket.
Yeah, really film from the weight start. Heated blanket underneath.
Rallycross.
Oh,
Ja.
posso.
Auto, Leichtjacken haben, orange.
Test.
Meine Grün, das grüne Auto war in der Zwischenzeit beginnt wir wieder aktiv die Staubentwicklung, die es nicht gibt. Giuggio steht neben ihm, der schnell der Ungar.
Bernard.
Und in der zweiten Reihe sollten wir dann wieder 2 Fahrzeuge haben mit Ronnie Searock und Reini Sampel. Rollstuhl gefestigten Salzburger.
Hello everybody, my name is Luke James. Welcome to Titans RX, presented by Papyrus Converse.
come round and onto that straight. This is where we'll see the supercar power here, Luke, coming in pretty quickly.
The Shushu is looking very good. He's been bang on the starts all day. For him to get out in front of Kevin just shows the power of the Pantera RX-6.
Yeah, absolutely right. Through the left-hander, though, Shushu a little bit wide. Is they going to allow Kevin Hansen an opportunity to find his way on the inside? It is! Hansen goes through in the final sector. Brilliant bit of movement there, but Shushu tries to get the switchback. He can't muscle his way past. Kevin Hansen leads at the end of lap 1.
And Kevin Hansen there showing his racecraft. He knew if he covered that inside line, there was no way Shushu could come back.
And Shushu, though, he is not giving up. He's going in towards the first corner. He's over the jump now. You can see the rain is coming down and really going to be affecting the grip for these drivers. Every single corner here, Luke, is going to be different.
I spoke to Timmy Hansen earlier. He was a big fan of the all-new Unity wet rally cross tyres. He said the grip you can feel on those is so much better. You feel so much more than you can in the dry tyre.
Yeah, you can see the traction and advantage that Kevin Hansen was able to get coming out of that left-hander onto that straight, and the advantage subsequently that he was able to pull out. Now Shushu is coming under threat from Ronnie C. Rock for second position, and Shushu very sideways indeed, getting all sorts of out of shape as he comes out of the left-hander.
Shushu is most definitely feeling the pressure. Ronnie has looked very quick all day. He's not been getting the greatest starts, but he has managed to come back at every single qualifying session so far.
Yeah, certainly has. Riding on board with the Hungarian driver now. This is so close in towards this right-hander. Over the jump we go. Kevin Hansen still leading the way quite commandingly in these early stages of this semi-final one here. Still on board with Shushu, still in second position he is, and he was under pressure from Ronnie C. Rock as we saw just a few moments ago. Looking at Shushu here as he comes down this straight, really gives you an idea of just how bumpy it is. Look at that bonnet in front. This is going up and down as he comes over the bump, over through the corkscrew-esque section, and then into the left-hander. The Hungarian driver doing a great job in second position so far.
Kevin Hansen really showing his class here, more power or not. The fact he's managed to pull clear 4 seconds over the space, that just shows how good a driver Kevin is, how comfortable he is in a supercar that's what he's driven for the last 4 years.
Yeah, absolutely right. Kevin Hansen doing a great job. A wealth of experience he has, even at such a young age. 21 years old is Kevin Hansen. International winner, of course, in 2019 as well. So doing a really good job in these tricky conditions there so far.
It's great to see Randy Sample. His first time driving a rallycross car. I think yesterday was his first ever test in a rallycross car was on Friday. The fact he's not falling away massively just proves that he's only going to get better as the season goes on.
Yeah, we were talking to Rene earlier on, actually, after the qualifying sessions, just finding out exactly how different it is to drive this car. And he said everything that I know is completely turned on its head. So it has been a unique challenge for him to become accustomed to this machinery. He's doing a great job in that Audi S1 down in 4th position so far. But battle for second position, still hotting up here.
Ronnie Searock seems to love that final turn. Every time he is
very close indeed. Then he tries for the outside line. As Ronnie C. Rock is actually a little bit wide, but a mistake there for him. Actually cost him some time against Shushu. So coming in towards his left hand, and now Shushu's going to have a bit of an advantage, and that'll help him getting that drive onto this straight as well. But he's so good in that left-hander, is Ronnie C. Rock. He's really pushing very hard, and he's out all on the rough stuff. That won't help his traction, and it doesn't help him close up on Shushu here either.
I don't know if Ronnie was looking for a bit of a straighter line into the right-hander there. He seemed to go wide with the hope of the, left-hander, the hope of making a bit more of a straight rather than a corner there.
Yeah, absolutely right. Well, looking here at Shushu then in second position, doing a good job so far, mounting the curve a little bit there. Looks like he's struggling with grip in these stages of this race so far. Over the timing line though we go, and in towards that first corner. Kevin Hansen has cleared off out in front in this race, but over the jump now, this battle for second position in these brand new Pantera machines for Titans RX is very close, and this is where we saw Ronnie C. Rock closing up last time around. He's very close indeed coming through this left-hander. Can he get the drive onto the straight? We ride on board here with Shushu. We're going to look for the yellow car. Is he going to appear on his right-hand side coming into this section?
I'd love to see the outboard just to see Ronnie's trying that wider line. He seems to be comfortable losing a couple seconds going out of turn 4, but he seems to always going down this downhill. And here he is, straight away, taking a wider line into the corner, hoping for the cutback.
Top 3, don't forget to go through to the final after this one. This battle for second position getting very tasty indeed. Over the line we go, checkered flag is out. Kevin Hansen takes the victory, and the second place man of Shushu does hold on to take that second position on the podium. Third place at the end was Ronnie C. Rock. A brilliant semi-final one there, Luke.
Brilliant race, brilliant driving from all 3 of the first finishers, and René Sample is only going to get better.
Yeah, absolutely right. That was absolutely spectacular. And of course, our focus now is going to shift over to the second semi-final, which will be on the way very, very shortly after this. Some very exciting racing we had then in semi-final 1 here at the MJP Arena.
But first, let's take a look at the best reaction from semi-final 1.
So we can see some highlights here. This was Shushu getting the initial advantage off the line. He managed to get himself ahead then of Kevin Hansen, but it wasn't long before Hansen was breathing all over him, and then down in towards that left-hander, he found his way past. A nice clean move there for Kevin Hansen into that final corner.
Awesome move by Kevin, and one difference for Titans RX to the rallycross we've been used to the past few years. We don't penalise for push or passing. Unless you're pushing someone into a wall, we want to encourage guys finding a little bit of extra room when they can.
Yeah, absolutely right. They should notice, though, if they are given a penalty, it will be served during the penalty lap. There's no joker lap here in Titans RX, so the penalty lap is something that will be used. That's coming into the final sector. This was over the timing line on the final lap, and that was Shushu just holding off the charge of Ronnie C. Rock right at the very end of that race. Supremely exciting stuff. Our focus then shifts to semi-final 2. Let's see what will happen then. Tommy Aiken on the right-hand side, Timmy Hansen on the left, Toraro and Morolino in third position. Over the line we go, lights out. Good launch from Tommy Aiken on the start of the grid, and a great start as well from Timmy Hansen on the outside. He's going to get the advantage. They go door handle to door handle into the first corner. Hansen is out wide. Hansen's off the track. That's his race over. Tommy Aiken takes the lead from Tamara Morolino. So brilliant stuff there from Tamara. She holds on to second position, but Timmy Hansen with all the work to do while in close contact at the first corner.
The question now, are the stewards going to make Timmy Hansen take a penalty lap? It's a three-car race. He's going to make the final, but Timmy is not going to be happy about this. He is going to want to fight to try and claim back that second place from Tamara.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be, of course, very important for his position on the grid as well. Let's not forget, going into the final. It's a 6-car final, so all 3 of these drivers, should they finish this race, will make their way through. And you can see the rally experience there of Tamara Morolino coming into play, riding on board with a very angry Timmy Hansen. I'm sure he'll have the red mist that will have descended. Tommy Aiken, meanwhile, no such dramas there. He leads the way quite comfortably at the moment in the supercar.
Timmy, I've known Timmy very well for a few years now. He's a perfectionist. Let's look at that again today. He wants to hit every beat as perfectly as possible every lap. He is going to be fuming in that car. As you can see, he's already caught up right to the back of Tamara. So now, are the stewards going to penalise Timmy for missing turn 2?
Yeah, absolutely right. Well, let's keep an eye out and see what will happen. Of course, the penalty lap is that shot on the right-hand side going through the gravel there. It's a really big part of the lap that will affect you. You can see Tamara Morolino there just getting all sorts of out of shape going through that left-hander. Rally style really coming into play, especially in these tricky conditions. That will be helping her. The car control that she's got is beneficial in these difficult conditions.
You can really see the difference. This is a perfect example of 2 different driving styles. Tamara coming from a rally background, rallycross style. Timmy Hansen from his circuit background, but he's now learned how to make a rallycross car quick. Samara super sideways, Timmy super smooth.
Yeah, riding on board we were with Timmy Hansen just a few moments ago, all over the back of Tamara Molinaro. So going through into that final corner, will Timmy find a way through? 6-lap final, semi-final here, of course. You can see them closing, but no opportunity for them to find their way through. Let's not forget, of course, exactly the same machinery underneath both drivers, exactly the same cars for them to drive. It all comes down to driving difference. You can see Tamara there just getting the first corner. Timmy Hansen closes up, coming through the left-hander. Can he find a way through though? Does he come onto this back straight? Molinaro is very sideways indeed. That very flat-out style is proving to be very beneficial here, but Timmy has got great pace behind the wheel of his Pantera machine. Coming into the corkscrew section we go, no opportunity to find his way through, but Timmy is pushing very hard on lap 4.
I spoke to Tamara over lunchtime, and she made a point of saying she's going sideways on purpose. When she has Shushu behind us, she's making the car as wide as possible. She is creating a barrier.
Here comes Timmy, trying to find his way down the inside, very close indeed, but no opportunity presenting itself thus far for the Swede.
Timmy Hansen made a over the back of Tamara. This is going to be an awesome experience.
So close between these two. Great to see them fighting it out in equal machinery. The drive that really does make a difference here in Titans RX. A little bit wide there for Hansen coming onto the straight. That'll compromise his run coming into this corkscrew section. He's not going to find a way through in this final sector, I hesitate to add. And the important thing is he'll only have 1 lap left to try and make that move. And this will be very important, as we've already said, for that final grid.
You can just see how hard Timmy is pushing that. I've been watching Timmy race for so many years now. You've never seen him go sideways like that. He is pushing flat out.
Over the timing line we go, final lap. Tommy Aiken is leading the way quite commandingly at the moment. This battle for second position though, there's less than a minute remaining to decide who will finish in second position, and of course course, get their prime grid slot for this final that will be coming up. Hansen is all over the back of Molinaro here, coming onto the straight. Will he get the drive? Will he be able to find his way through? Molinaro is making her car as wide as possible as we come in towards this corkscrew section. Surely Hansen's not going to think about a move into there. He does think better of it for now, but he's going to have one more opportunity, really. He needs to get a good drive, but he's slowing.
He's having a problem.
It looks like he's either got a problem or he missed the gear or something like that. And Timmy Hansen getting poor drive out of there. That does mean Molinaro holds on to second position as Topi Heikkinen takes the victory here in semi-final 2. It was so close right up until the final couple of corners, but Hansen there with what looked to be some kind of a technical issue for him on that final lap in the final couple of corners, sadly denies him that second position right at the very end.
So what a drive from Tamara. Topi, clear winner. Brilliant drive by Topi, but Tamara holding on to second place against a rallycross stalwart, a rallycross family man like Timmy Hansen. Forward to seeing how she gets on this season.
Yeah, it really is going to be very, very exciting to see how the drivers will fare over the course of this one. Great drive from Timmy Hansen. That one great from Topi Heikkinen as well.
Yes.
He didn't talk about him much throughout that race. He just cleared off, didn't he?
I think halfway through the race I realised I hadn't mentioned him since the start line, but that is just a testament to how clean and concise Topi can be. Topi's a 5-time GRC champion. He knows what he's doing behind the wheel. He's not had the best luck in terms of the drives he's had for the past few years, but when he puts his head to it, he is one of the quickest in the field.
Very, very impressive stuff from all of the drivers throughout that field there. Topi Heikkinen taking a commanding victory in semi-final 2. Of course, we know what the grid will now be for that grand final that will be coming up for you a little bit later on. We're going to get some highlights for you from semi-final 2, and here we can see the start as the drivers headed down towards the first corner. You can see there Timmy Hansen taking the scenic route as he comes out of the turn 2. He got pushed wide at the first corner as he went side by side with the man who was leading the race, Topi Heikkinen, and then he was on the recovery charge trying to find his way past Tamara Molinaro, but he wasn't able to do so over the course of that race.
Tamara's had a big smile on her face for most of it. I can't wait to see how big that grin is. I think it's going to be from here to here. She's come here with no expectations of what she's going to get out of the week and where she's going to finish, but the fact she's mixing it with such a rallycross, you can almost call Timmy a rallycross legend. He's been around for that long. She's going to be delighted with that performance.
Yeah, certainly is. You can see there Tamara Molinaro sliding her way through that rally style. Really proves to be quite effective actually in these Pantera style machines. That's compared, of course, to the very clean-cut, non-slidey style, really, that Timmy Hansen has been using. You could see him really closing up. This was in the final sector on the final lap. He was trying to find his way through, but it was coming out of that corner there where he seemed to lose drive. Something either went wrong, he missed a gear, or something went wrong with the car. But either way, it stopped him from finishing in second position right at the very end of that race.
It's going to be a hard fight for Timmy to make the podium, but if anyone could do it in the paddock, I'd put my money on him.
Yeah, absolutely right. It was very, very exciting indeed.
Next up, we've got Mr. Max Pusher, CEO of Titans RX, coming over.
Yeah, we're going to invite Max Puccia onto the stage. Max, great to have you along. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Good to see you. So, Titans RX Europe then, tell us what it's all about. What was it that made you decide that you wanted to do this year?
Well, I definitely wanted to create a completely new way to present rallycross to the public. It's not enough known. We haven't seen enough on TV, and to use this format, with the stage and with the cars coming in front of the stage is really to bring rallycross much closer to the spectators.
And we've seen the drivers, of course, fighting close quarters out there on track as well. I know you're looking a little bit nervous, but what have your thoughts been of the on-track action so far?
Well, it's been pretty good, for a test event. Obviously, I told them in the beginning, not to overdo it, but they're all very serious about the racing. We have seen that they're not holding back too much. I am very glad that the cars are so similar in performance, and we've seen some good racing. So for me, it was fine. I didn't have any nerve-wracking moments.
And the main philosophy, of course, behind Titans RX was cost saving, bringing the cost down for drivers to be able to compete very closely, but also really inexpensively as well.
Yeah, that obviously is a big issue, that it's very difficult to get sponsors to pay for the millions that it costs today to run a World RX event. And there's so many great drivers, and just to enable them with less sponsorship money to also have absolutely fantastic racing, that's why you need to bring the cost down, and as far as we can see, we've achieved that.
And we're going to some incredible venues this year, like Montalegre, the classic Liddon Hill, for example, as well as we look further down the calendar. What rounds are you looking forward to most of all?
I think really good ones, they're all great. Really good ones are definitely Montalegre. That's just one of the classic. Another one clearly is Nereid with the up and down hilly track, that is so exciting. And certainly Lydden Hill, you are never wrong, on that track.
Yeah, absolutely right. It is going to be very exciting to see how things go as well. And we've got such depth of talent in the field as well. Drivers who've come from a rallycross background, some who have come from Formula One, endurance racing, etc. And I think, do you think that demonstrates just how incredible rallycross can be, that you can come from different backgrounds and compete so closely?
Yeah, that is definitely true. You also can see that drivers run very different styles. You see the rally drivers obviously taking a bit more sideways, the very experienced drivers driving a much cleaner line. They use the car differently, but as they're all running the same machine, you can see what the driving style really makes in terms of difference.
Fantastic. Max, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Here we are. Max Pucha joining us on the stage. A brilliant insight there, I think, into Titans RX, wasn't it?
I've known Max since 2015 when he first got involved with rallycross. To see him going from purely a driver to a team owner to someone creating a full world championship, European championship, I think this is something that's never going to be seen in such a short space of time, and it's an impressive.
So we can see some highlights here. This was Shushu getting the initial advantage off the line. Lap. There's no joker lap here in Titans RX, so the penalty lap is something.
Yep.
Safety issue, set the car into limp home mode, basically. Like temperature is running too high.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Hello everybody, welcome back to Titans RX, presented by Papyrus Converse. We're live at the MJP Arena. Earlier on, the Super Touring Car final took place, and we're going to take a look at the best of the action now.
The Super Touring Car final then. Keep an eye out for Karl Schadenhofer on the left-hand side of your picture in that fast-starting Volkswagen Golf. Lots of cars in the grid. As you can see, this is going to be a very interesting drag down towards the first corner as the lights go out and Super Touring Car Final gets underway. Good start as well from the Mercedes. That's Gerard Wolfrich on the outside. He slots himself to second position, but Schardenhofer does lead the way. Good start from both of those guys. You can see the 402 there, the Volkswagen Golf holding on to the race lead, getting a good advantage already in the opening couple of corners. Meanwhile, Gerard Wolfrich there in second position, coming under some pressure from behind. The Ford of Sven Siegler is in third position. And Siegler there looking very aggressive in these opening few stages. Already that gap beginning to break out between the race leader, but a good start there, as we said, Luke, for the 402.
I'm going to say something as a complete fan here. These are some of the best looking rallycross cars I've seen in a long time. A Mercedes E-Class on the track, awesome.
Yeah, absolutely right. You can see there, that is the number 8. That, of course, is Sven Siegler there in third position at the moment. Brilliant stuff from him to get such a good start. He's beginning to close up a little bit there on the back of the Mercedes Gerard Wolfrich there, and the top 3 beginning to look even more pronounced now as well. You can see Sven Siegler there with quite a good toe as he comes out of that left-hander on towards this back straight. He's closing. Meanwhile, the race leader, the 402, as we mentioned, of Karl Schardenhofer in the Volkswagen Golf, leading the way, holding that advantage out in front. He's looking very comfortable indeed in these stages.
He's been looking dominant all weekend. I've managed to take a look at the Super Touring Car action so far, and he's been leading every qualifying session so far.
Yeah, absolutely right. Doing a good job commandingly out in front as he comes through to start yet another lap in this race. As you can see there, the top 3 looking even more pronounced as we come over the timing line once again. Down in towards the left-hander, over the jump they go. These Super Touring cars, of course, don't have the same power as the Pantera or the supercars that we've seen, but they're still pretty quick. There's no doubt about that.
They're pretty quick and they sound pretty good as well. They've been some nice pre-launches onto the grid so far today, and they've been providing some great action for the crowd so far. Of course, they're here as our support class for our test event here for Titans RX, and they've provided some awesome action all day so far.
Yeah, absolutely right. You can see there is the Mercedes in second position. That is Gerard Wolfrich. And look at this as well, as Sven Siegler tries to find his way through into the left hand of the Mercedes there. Of course, a diesel power car. You can see why. That's why it's chucking out so much black smoke out the rear of it. He was trying to find his way past, but wasn't able to make an opportunity happen. Wasn't able to find his way through. No such dramas, though, for the man leading the race. That, of course, is Karl Schardenhofer. A great job from him in that Volkswagen Golf. Looks to be in an absolute class of his own at the moment. And only a few laps remaining here of this final in the Super Touring Car machines. Let's see how he's able to do. Anything can happen in motor racing, and it usually does as they come down this straight in towards the corkscrew section. Here we then see Karl Schardenhofer going into that corkscrew section, and you can see how hard he was pushing going into that there as well. You can see Sven Siegler is really closing up onto the back of that Mercedes, and that Mercedes still chucking out plumes of black smoke out the rear here, Luke.
It's a sight to behold. With the talk of rallycross going electric, it's very good to see these diesel-powered cars just performing so awesomely on track, sounding so good.
Yeah, it really is. It's great to see such a depth of field and such a difference in machinery as well. Where else would you see such close racing? You can see Sven Siegler all over the back of the Mercedes there. He's trying to find his way past Wolfrich. Can he find a way through, though, as they come onto this back straight? He's looking very menacing here in this Ford Fiesta, but he's not able to find an opportunity to pass. We know that closing up is one thing, but getting past is certainly another. Coming into this corkscrew section, we go once again. That's the leader. That's the race leader of, oh, disaster for Karl Schardenhofer. He sent it surely into the tyre barrier going into the corkscrew. The suspension looked like it was damaged there, and what this does mean is that battle for second place now becomes a battle for the race lead, and it's the diesel-powered Mercedes of Gerard Wolfrich that leads the way.
This is my first time doing commentary, and I think I've already delivered the commentary curse, just talking about how he's been leading every race so far. Sorry, but yeah, terrible way to go out of the race. He's been looking so comfortable in front, and we didn't see the actual incident which happened, but it honestly did look like he went into the tyre barrier. Yeah,
big disaster there for Karl Schardenhofer. He was leading that race quite commandingly, and as Luke said earlier on, he's been leading so very well in the qualifying sessions as we'd seen up until that point. So this battle for the race lead, the Mercedes leading the way coming in towards this corkscrew section. Doesn't look like Sven Siegler has got the pace over Wolfrich at the moment, but coming down in towards this corner here, this is where an opportune passing place, and really the final passing opportunity that you have on the lap here at the MJP Arena. Over the timing line we go once again. That Mercedes still leading the way, and not long to go until home here as well.
It's almost as if he's using a Batmobile type smoke screen for the driver behind him. Every time he seems to be getting close to the corner, he's decelerating. You're seeing those plumes of smoke coming out. he's pushing this car to the absolute limits, and it looks like it's going to be an awesome final lap here.
Yeah, speaking of pushing to the limit, look at how much of an advantage the top two have over the remainder of the field. Coming over the top of the brow of the hill we go in towards this corkscrew section. Such close racing between these guys in the Super Touring cars. Down in towards that left-hander we go once again. Siegler closes, but can he find a way through that Mercedes? Once it gets on the power, once it hits the power band in that diesel machine, it's able to just pull out enough of the advantage. He runs a little bit wide though at the final corner. The drag to the line, they're so close as they come over the timing line now, and he just holds on, there's Gerald Wolfric, to take victory in the Super Touring car final. That was absolutely brilliant, Luke.
That is how you finish a race. Drag race to the line, two cars pushing flat out for 7 laps. It's head-to-head on the line. That is what we love in Rallycross.
Yep, certainly is. Very, very impressive stuff. You can see the drivers there on the pre-grid. We've got a very famous name up here in the commentary box as well.
How are you, Mr. Kenneth Hansen?
Very well, thank you.
Good to have you again. Of course, if you don't know about Mr. Kenneth Hansen, 15-time European Rallycross champion. He doesn't get much more legendary than this man. So obviously you've got your two sons driving the two different cars. You've got the supercar, the Pantera RX-6. What's the different feedback you've had from Timmy and Kevin so far today?
Of course, the supercar is much more developed. It have done several years. It's ready. The Pantera is quite new, and to see it perform so well already on the pre-test event, it's magnificent. And I think we have a lot more to come out of that car.
It seems from speaking to the guys, Toppy, to Timmy and Kevin, who've been involved in the Pantera development from so early, they seem astounded at how quick the car's come along. I think they were talking it was 2 seconds behind the supercar now. We've managed to get that down to about 0.2. In motorsport terms, that's crazy.
It is, yeah. And it's interesting to see also because the Pantera is lighter, so it can brake a little easier into the corners and so it is a difference there. But it's nice to see that it's performing so well.
And of course, I think Max Pucher's hopes for this is to make Rallycross more accessible. We've seen costs spiraling out of control across motorsport in a whole, but Rallycross for the last few years has seen a few drivers not be able to get drives due to sponsor money. How important do you see this to be for the future of Rallycross?
I think it have a big part of the future in Rallycross, of course, and I mean also that you can see the power. It's not slow car. I mean, even if it's a cheaper one, it's just that it's lighter, a little less power, but you still see flames. You still see very good starts. So it have it in the package there. So I think, and also the good names that we have in the series, to be able to compete on equal conditions, this will be really interesting to see.
It's been good so far. I think Tom's got a question for you.
Yeah, Kenneth, we saw some what looked like technical problems for Timmy in the semi-final. Have you had a chance to talk to him and find out what it was?
Yeah, it's actually one of the problems. It's now that when you get too close, you don't get the cooling right. And to not destroy the engine, it goes into a safety mode. So they're trying to make some work now on the computer to adjust it a little so it can finish all the 6 laps with full power.
That's the type of insight we can only get from someone like Kenneth. Kenneth, thank you very much for your time, and obviously, of course, good luck to Timmy and Kevin for the final.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, it doesn't get much better than that, does it?
It's Kenneth Hansen, again, I've known someone I've known for so long, someone who's so informative about the sport, and oh, look who's joined us.
Yeah, it's
Hansen.
the younger Hansen, isn't it? From one extreme to the other, isn't it? We go from a 15-time European champion to a man who's made his mark on rally. One-time European champion. Okay, well, I didn't want to say that to make you sound less of a champion there, Kevin. But I tell you what, you put in some incredible performances out there on track. It's been a good day, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been really good. I think I've enjoyed the track a lot and been winning a few qualies and the semi. Unfortunately, now we had an engine problem, so I will not be able to be a part of the final race. But I will really enjoy to see 5 Panteras and Toppy in the front row there to see how wanting the guys are behind him to push him a bit out and take the win. So I will enjoy from the side. I think I will join you a bit here actually. I like commentary.
Oh, that's fine for us. That makes my life a lot easier, I have to say. I'm really looking forward. I tell you what, papers flying everywhere. It is quite windy here at the MJP Arena. So going into this final then, you've had a lot of experience, of course, of competing in Rallycross finals. What's going through your mind at the stage when you're sat there on the pre-grid and then going on to the grid?
You're really nervous. You're wondering how will the guys, especially on the front row, how will the guys in the back do? Will they push me out? Will I do a good start? Will I be a bit behind? Do I have to be aggressive? All the scenarios you have in your head and that could happen in turn 1, you're thinking about. And normally it's the only thing that you don't think about that happens. So it's really tricky to prepare. Normally, let it go, focus on your start and get away, and then you have to do the Rallycross style turn 1 and be quite aggressive and take things as it comes.
kind of talking about the start procedures, we've seen many onboards of your brother Timmy in the World Championship, hyping himself up, super calm. How do you prepare in the car? Are you calm? Are you hyping yourself up? What's your preparations?
I actually do exactly the same. I'm really calm as long as I can. I don't want to feel the tension too long. It just takes too much energy for me. Some people like to be really hyped for a long time, but I just before, or actually when the grid girls go off or the marshals go off the grid, I'd like to punch myself as well. Get really ready, get your heart pumping as a lot. It's pumping a lot before also because you're on the grid, but still, the extra last bit to really get you excited, get your heart rate up, get the blood pumping, and you're fully ready. As much blood in your brain as possible, for that reaction.
Weather conditions as well are looking pretty interesting for this one. I can just feel a few sort of fine spots of rain here at the MJP Arena. What do you do in conditions like this when you've got different tyres on than perhaps you'd want to have on? And what goes through your mind in terms of how do things change?
Yeah, now when it's coming a few drops, it's really, you're really tense in the car. You don't know if it will start to rain, how will you do during the run, if it increases. It's so adapted, and from one lap to another, you can be, 10 kilometers slower in the corner. So you have to be really, really sharp and really feel the car a lot more than just going on your rhythm.
Of course, we've got an all-new tyre partner, Who's Your Tyres. I spoke to Timmy earlier, who he loves the wet tyre. He said there's great feeling about it. Are you the same for the wet tyre here?
At the moment, I think you should go for the slick. It's still quite dry.
Yeah.
So everybody have used tires now, so some can have a bit hot, some can have a bit cold, so it can be some difference on the start line.
I've just heard in my ear, you're actually not allowed to go anywhere. You're joining us to commentate for the final now. So
yeah.
Welcome to the commentary team, Kevin Hansen. Good to have you here.
It's put me out of a job. I don't know about you, but...
As you can see, the cars are just heading to the grid for the final. And let's take a look at the grid for the official Titans RX Test Day final.
So the drivers heading to the grid then here for the Titans RX European final. Ronnie C. Rock there, you can just see making his way out with Tamara Molinaro in the number 25 machine. Let's see how things will go as they head onto the grid. You see Tommy Hakeman there in the supercar on the far right-hand side of your picture. Shushu slots himself into second position. Good run that Shushu has had in that Pantera machine. Meanwhile, what about Timmy Hansen then? He just slots himself into the outside of the second row of the grid. Difficult times for him, of course, in semi-final 2 that we saw just a couple of moments ago. Alongside him will line up Molinaro. Of course, we've got Rennie Sample. Ronnie C. Rock right towards the back end of the grid. Tension is building here.
Kevin, I want to hear your insight. We've got 3 drivers here in this final lineup who aren't rallycross regulars. Who's impressed you the most so far today?
I think Tamara's done a really good race.
Kevin Hansen, der Positiv fährt leider nicht.
You can see now Topi has taken my place on the grid, Shushu on the side, so Tamara and Timmy, after their fight in the semi, will line up side by side. And then in the back row we have really exciting newcomers as well, so it's going to be really interesting to see how the newcomers
Yeah, it really is going to be very exciting indeed. So let's see what will happen going down towards that first corner. Topi Hakeman on the left-hand side of your picture. Shushu alongside him. Keep an eye out for the fast-starting Timmy Hansen on the outside of the second row of the grid. Look to the lights, look to the top right-hand corner of your screen. Wait for the revs to rise here at Titans RX Europe. And the final is about to get underway. Red lights on, ready to race here for Titans RX Europe final. Good launch from Timmy Hansen on the outside. Shushu getting away well. Tommy Hakeman there also not looking too bad, but keep an eye out for Hansen. Hansen goes to the outside as Tommy Hakeman takes the lead, and Shushu with Hansen and contact. As they go over the jump, Hansen gets himself in the second position. Great launch there from Timmy Hansen.
Oh, amazing. Timmy going around the outside of Shushu. Chasing Tommy really hard.
Yeah, Shushu there into third position and coming under pressure from Ronnie C. Rock there in fourth place as well. So not a bad launch for Ronnie C. Rock. A poor launch there for Shushu, not taking advantage of his front row start. And look at the groups already beginning to form here.
It looks like there's almost like a 2 stages to the launch. We've seen a few guys chasing this there. Ronnie C. Rock seems to get an initial good launch, but something in the launch race is slowing him down. Timmy Hansen had a good whole launch race and managed to get back outside of Shushu and how he came second place.
You can see now also that the wipers are on. It's blurring down around. It's really tricky for Topi in the front end. Timmy, is an expert on the reins, so it will be really interesting to see how this will happen, how much he can close up, because he's always wanting to get so close. And we can see he's not far away.
Yeah, Ronnie C. Rott there with his lack of rallycross experience not doing him too much harm at all, because he's there in 4th position. He's all over the back of Shushu like a bad rash at the moment. They come through the left-hander and down to this little straight into the left-hander, the final corner on this lap. And you can see Shushu there going very defensive right in the curve. Rock has to go towards the outside line there. That loses him drive. Very interesting tactics there from Shushu.
Ronnie C. Rock might not be the driver of the day. He may not win a race, but he has definitely been the most entertaining driver all day. Super sideways, super committed. First race in the Pantera, I am super impressed.
Really, really big fight for second, and we can see here also for the first place, Tim has closed up a little bit. Tommy, I think, feeling the pressure from his former World Rallycross mate. So let's see, yeah, you can see he's only car length behind, really wanting to get that win in the Pantera RX6.
Hansen really wanted to make amends, of course, for the disappointment he suffered in semi-final 2. You can see there Tommy Hagen pushing very hard indeed. Looks like he's struggling with a little bit of grip out there at the moment. Lap 3 out of 7 we're on here in the final, and Hansen has been closing lap after lap, corner after corner, and he's really close on the back of the finish driver now.
This just might be the driver of the day from Timmy Hansen, and we've seen the supercar straighten away consistently from the Pantera on the straights. The supercars are stuck to the back of Tommy. He is not letting him go.
Straight there we go, a 5th gear, down 1 gear and into this very slippery left-hander. Timmy taking a bit of height, Toppy drifting wide. I think Timmy is really eager to stick his nose down the inside.
Very few passing opportunities on this lap here as well, Kevin, as we know. And where's the opportune passing places? Where's Timmy going to be looking to try and make a move?
I think he needs to look after the back straight, up the right, and give Toppy a bit of push. You know, his tightness already, he can nudge a bit more than in the World Championship, so we can see now the ring coming down even harder. Could maybe a mistake from Toppy now on this lap, I think.
Just saw Ronnie C. Rock taking the penalty lap there for one reason or another. We'll try and get clarification as to why that was. But regardless, that will put him out of contention here for the final podium position in this race. It's now between Shushu and the lady who is in 4th position. That's Tamara Molinaro.
I think Tamara has been consistent in the drive and has improved most in Q1. From my practice session this morning when she came out the car, she seemed that comfortable in the car. Now she's been pushing. She's getting the car sideways to defend. Super impressive.
Yeah, I think I really agree there. And every lap you get in the Pantera, you get more comfortable. And every lap you get to know. And I think you can see that in all the drivers, especially Tamara today. She's really getting into it.
Yeah, absolutely right. You can see Hansen here. He's been able to put the pressure on. He's not been able to find a way past of Hakkinen at the moment. And Tommy Hakkinen there has been doing a really good job of just putting his car exactly where Timmy doesn't need it to be.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to drive the gap as good as he can, but if Timmy gets a little bit closer, you know, he can stick his nose down the inside. So now entering the last lap, Toppy needs to bring it really quiet. Timmy will be out.
The Pantera seems to be super quick through the corkscrew chassis on the top of the track. We've just spoken down the back straight that supercar's going to have the advantage, but Timmy is going to close the gap just like this section here on the turns. This is where Timmy seems more confident in the way.
I think so, and the Pantera is lighter than the supercar, so you can carry a lot more speed through these tight turns. We're riding board with Timmy here. He really got his eyes on top of there, pulling the gears up to 6th, and now back in the corkscrew.
Yeah, riding on board with Timmy Hansen. He's really putting the pressure onto Toppy Hakkinen, though. He's running out of time. Just 2 more corners from home. Now 1. Toppy Hakkinen comes into the final corner. It's been a great performance from the Finnish driver. He rounds the final corner. He comes across the line. And Toppy Hakkinen takes victory here in the final. A brilliant performance from the young Finnish driver. Hansen finishes in 2nd position as the drivers come
up for 3rd. Look at this.
This is a great battle as well. Shushu's in 3rd position. Ronnie C. Rock is trying to take 4th place away from Tamara Molinaro. Is he going to find his way through? It's so close now then to the line, and Shushu does hold on for that final podium position, and Ronnie C. Rock just misses out against Tamara Molinaro at the line.
We've had 8 cars racing today. Wait until we have 15. I think this is going to be an awesome season.
Yeah, I agree really, and you know, great for Shushu to get a podium here as well. He really worked hard during the seasons in the past to get here, so great to see him on the podium.
That was an absolutely fantastic race there. Timmy Hansen doing a great job in 2nd position, keeping that pressure at a constant on Toppy Hakkinen, but Hakkinen putting his car exactly where Hansen didn't need it to be. And thus, of course, it was Hakkinen who took the victory here in the Titans RX final. And you can see Hakkinen there celebrating wildly on this cool-down lap.
Yeah, putting some donuts is the best feeling of the won a race, and Toppy really deserved that one.
Wird noch schön sein, etwa viel Platz. Ja.
Well, awesome drive from Toppy all day. I think yourself and Toppy have been the standout drivers all day. Maybe in the fastest car, but Toppy has looked super smooth. He's been nailing the starts all day. Well done, Toppy Hakkinen.
Yeah, very, very impressive performance from all of our drivers up and down the grid. Impressive stuff from Shushu to claim a podium as well. And we'll have all the drivers coming onto the podium in a few moments' time. Here's a replay, though, of the race. You can see how good Haikkonen's start was, as well as Hansen. Hansen hung out to dry a little bit there, and he had a bit of contact with Shushu going through over that jump. He managed to hold on for second position, though. His car was in the right place. He was in second place, and that was the opportunity that he needed to try and put that pressure on the race leader of Topi Haikkonen. Shushu, meanwhile, began to drop back after the first lap. He had Ronnie C. Rock all over the back of him, trying to find a way past. Wasn't able to make an opportunity to find his way through, was Ronnie C. Rock there, and he did actually take a penalty lap later on in the race for reasons that are quite unclear at the moment. We're not quite sure as to why that was. You can see him going a little bit wide there, going through the final corner as well. He was pushing very, very hard indeed. Meanwhile, the battle out in front, Topi Haikkonen leading the way at this stage. Timmy Hansen finding his way all over the back of him again. There is Ronnie C. Rock taking that penalty lap, Luke.
And just the noise you can hear now, we've got the 3 podium finishes just pulling in front of the Titans RX studio set up here.
Yep, Topi Haikkonen, meanwhile, in the race, still leading the way at this stage, and Hansen didn't have an answer for him really coming over the line, and it was a victory for Topi Haikkonen, a dominant victory as well. He kept that pressure, as we said, and a constant over the course of that one. A very impressive performance from the Finnish driver. We know it's only a test race, but the driver's putting in an absolutely brilliant effort, 110% going into everything there, and Topi Haikkonen as well, as we can see down here in the Parc Ferme area, just opening the door of Timmy Hansen's car, and they're, I think, going to be celebrating amongst one another here.
Yeah, I think so. It's always great, you know, to be on the podium in the end of an event, and a great hug there between the drivers and Shushu as well, you know.
Yeah, very good stuff indeed. Great performance from Shushu on the podium here in the Titans RX European final. Impressive stuff from all 3 drivers up and down the grid. Great to see those Pantera cars so close to the supercars that we've had here as well. Great racing up and down.
There's a lot of history between Timmy and Topi. They actually used to race karting together back when they were 11 or 12 years old. I heard from Suzanne Hansen earlier on. So these guys have been racing for as long as they can remember, over half of their life so far. And that's why they have such respect between themselves.
Yeah, very, very impressive stuff from the top 2 drivers. And of course, we'll have them all on the podium up here in the Titans RX stage as well, and inviting them up to celebrate with us and amongst the fans here at the MJP Arena. What a great turnout. It's been what a great atmosphere we've had all weekend.
It's been a test day. We made clear this is a test day where we're finding out how we're going to make this work throughout the year. But the fans have come out, they've been patient, and they've been awesome all day, providing great support, keeping the drivers uplifted, asking for photos, asking for autographs. You guys have been absolutely awesome.
Yeah, really impressive stuff. What are your feelings been of the atmosphere here this weekend, Kevin? You've enjoyed yourself?
Yeah, really much. I think you know, the circuit, the venue, the event, and the spectators has really brought something special to our first event ever. So really happy to see everything worked out, and we got our first 3 podium finishes.
Well, I'm sure you'll be hoping next time that you'll be amongst those podium finishers.
Yeah, for sure. I think, to be honest, I wanted to win today, so I'm really a bit sad that I wasn't racing with Topi and Timmy. So I will catch him next time.
It's all right. He's going to be throwing the cap up here as Topi Haikkonen in just a few moments' time. But what a very, very impressive performance there from all 3 drivers. Look, everybody up and down the field putting in a great job.
It's been so good to see everyone developing throughout the day. We've seen Tamara from maybe struggling in Q1 to sending the car sideways to defending Q2. I think that is awesome. We've seen Rainey Sample from being maybe 5 or 6 seconds back in Q1 to 2 seconds back. We've seen everybody improve and improve and improve throughout the day.
Yeah, absolutely right. We've seen the pace get faster and faster over the course of this weekend. You can see the drivers down there with their Hoosier tyre caps on as well, official tyre supplier for the Titans RX European Series. So brilliant, brilliant performance as the drivers embrace one another down here in the Parc Ferme area. We'll be inviting them onto the podium in just a few moments' time.
As long as they can remember.
But of course, before that, we've got the Super Touring Car podium to come for these drivers.
And of course, the Super Touring Cars as the official support series for our official test day here for Titans RX. And they've been putting on an awesome show for the crowds all day. Yeah,
they absolutely have. You're completely right there, Luke. So we welcome the top 3 finishers, as we said, for those podium finishes as well. We've got Manfred Puka, Max Puka, rather, sorry, and Kenneth Hansen, who are joining us on the podium as well to be presenting the champagne to the drivers here. Yeah, brilliant performance from all of the drivers who have been involved. Great performances in the Titans RX Europe Series as well, and also in the Super Touring Car final that we showed you a few moments ago. Really great to see all of the drivers who have done so well here in Austria. The MJP Arena playing host to the first ever Titans RX Europe event. A great premiere test. Great to have so many people involved. Great to have Kevin Hansen, who joined us on commentary as well for that final. There's a future career in him after racing, but he's got quite a few years left ahead of him before that, I'm sure. So it is going to be very exciting to see how these drivers will be faring. As we said, we'll be inviting the top 3 of the Super Touring cars onto the podium in a few moments' time. Very impressive Super Touring car races. We saw the race leader who crashed out on the penultimate lap, and it really did go down to the wire. You can just see down here in the Parc Ferme area as well, the top 3 drivers just celebrating amongst one another, posing for some photographs there as well. And Max Pucher and Kenneth Hansen on the podium positions as well, and also presenting them with those bottles of champagne we'll have in just a few moments' time. But we're about ready then, Luke, for the Super Touring Car podium, aren't we?
Of course. In 3rd place, can we welcome to the stage Charlene Brandt. And in 2nd place, can we welcome to the stage Mr. Sven Zelia. And the winner of the Super Touring Car final, Mr. Gerald Voldrick.
Very impressive performance for that over the course of that race. Well, it's so unpredictable. At the penultimate lap, we thought the race was all done and dusted, and then
4 laps in, I think we were getting ready to pack up and finish that race.
Exactly.
It looked such a foregone conclusion, but these guys fought to the end. Awesome action all day from these all 3.
Very impressive. Just posing on the podium for some photographs as well. Bottles of champagne for them also. And of course, we'll have the Titans RX European podium to give you in just a few moments' time, as well as these drivers just pose for their photographs. Some great racing we've had all day, and up and down in the support classes in the Titans RX European category, and great to see the supercars mixing it with the brand new Pantera machines.
For sure. Guys, can we have a bit more noise for the Super Touring Car top 3 finishers, please?
And so then we move over to the top 3 finishers for the Titans RX European Series. In 3rd position, I'd like to welcome onto the podium, please, Shushu. Perhaps the most distinctive racing suit in all of Rallycross has Shushu got, and presented with his bottle of Moët on the podium here as well. And then in 2nd position, we'll be welcoming on to the podium. A great drive, keeping the pressure on Topi Heikkinen right until the very end of that one. It's Timmy Hansen. But the winner, he kept a calm head. He had a great performance out there on track. From Finland, a driver who, of course, needs no introduction, but we'll give him one anyway. The winner of the Titans RX European final, Topi Heikkinen. And the drivers there just posing for some photographs up here on the podium as well, on the Titans RX European stage here at the MJP Arena in Austria. What a brilliant inaugural event it's been.
And what a first day of Titans RX Europe. It has been non-stop action from 9 AM to 5 PM. The best bit, if you've missed any of the action, you can watch it all on the Titans RX channel on the Eurosport player anytime, Q1, Q2, Q3, semi-finals and finals. But of course, thank you to the drivers for putting on such a show all day. Be sure to tune into the next round. We'll be back soon.
happened with the race times for the semi-finals? Race times.